Just 4 shots were enough to take out the head of Microsoft. But, like, it didn't stop there. His family wasn't safe either. Jared Bridegan's widow sent this video. And, she thinks you can see a suspicious person on her property about a week after her husband was killed. Was this someone who, like, had no other choice?
But I wish it weren't like this. I wish things could have been and could be different.
Was it a mother caught up in a messy custody battle? Or, like, a millionaire totally obsessed with getting revenge?
I do.
All right, thank you. I've been handed a form that's titled Unlimited Waiver of Speedy Trial. Have you gone over this form with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can, like, totally read the truth in someone's eyes. Shanna Gardner was in the kitchen when her ex-husband dropped off their twins. Jared Bridegan drove around the curb while his 10-year-old daughter Abby and son Liam waved goodbye. Later, when the twins got back home, they noticed their stepdad's gaming console was on and assumed he was just playing. That evening, they told their mum they had gone out to eat when their dad got an urgent call. He told them to finish up quickly and then drove them home at like 6:30 p.m. Shanna sent the kids to bed to finish their homework while her husband was doing laundry. And then, out of nowhere, someone rang the doorbell. Something terrible happened. On the way back, just 2 miles from home, a wheel came flying off, right onto the road. It was a pretty remote spot, no cameras around, somewhere between Jacksonville Drive and Sanctuary Boulevard. Jared stopped the car to check it out, and, oh my god, as he got out to fix the wheel, gunshots rang out. 4 shots. 2 hit his SUV. Jared was hit twice. His motionless body lay on the ground for, like, 3 minutes before anyone even noticed his car. In that crushing silence, the night was shattered by a single, piercing scream. It was Jared's little son, Bexley, still strapped into the back seat, totally confused, not knowing what had just happened.
Police say he was driving in his car with his 2-year-old when he came upon a tire in the road. Moments later, he was shot and killed. A possible clue, a blue F-150 pickup truck is caught on a nearby surveillance camera. With each passing day, a reward of $5,000 and of $25,000 is being offered for information, leading to the arrest of the murderer.
The police concluded that this was, like, a planned murder. Jared was on his way home to his wife, Karen, and their 7-month-old daughter, London. Just minutes before the tragedy, Kirsten had been talking to Jared, and Bexley was telling her about the ice cream they'd bought. She only got the call when the police found his body. It was, honestly, a nightmare for any family. When his ex-wife, Shanna, was told about his death, all she could think about was how to break the news to the kids.
I fell to the floor because I was devastated for what I was going to have to tell my kid.
In the days after losing Jared, his wife Karen faced, like, a whole new threat. Jared Bridegan's widow sent this video, and, she thinks you can see a suspicious person on her property about a week after her husband was killed. Home alone with the little ones, Karen got super scared. Someone was like peeking through her windows and even going into the garage. Luckily, a neighbor stepped in to help her out.
I was very concerned. It was so soon after Jared had been murdered and now someone was at our home. It was not okay. One of my amazing neighbors, ex-military, came, and he and his dog and I went through the yard checking to make sure no one was still there.
It's likely that Karen avoided, like, another tragedy because of all the activity on the street. The intruder didn't even try to get inside. In the video, you can see a neighbor leaving their driveway around the same time another person was walking down the sidewalk. That probably freaked out whoever was on the Britton property. Since then, the sheriff started patrolling the area more often, keeping an eye on the house. But honestly, it was still super unsettling. Someone was clearly scoping out her property, and like, they definitely didn't have good intentions. A few months later, the police would arrest the person behind the ambush.
It's gonna be the white vehicle back there.
It's gotta be that white car back there. Now she's shedding crocodile tears over his death. His ex-wife, Shanna Gardner, witnesses said. But, like, how did the police finally manage to connect all the dots? Was Shanna really behind this tragedy? We're gonna break it all down and dive into the details. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Detective Michael. Today's story is, like, definitely not for the faint of heart, honestly. I got chills a few times just putting it together. So, if you're still ready to dive in, before we start, I'd love for you to drop in the comments what city you're watching from and what time it is there. Alright, let's get into it. March 16th, 2022. Just a regular Wednesday. Wednesdays were kinda special for 9-year-old twins, Liam and Abby. Here's the deal between Jared and Shanna. When the kids were staying with one parent, the other had the right to take them out on a Wednesday date. It was, like, their way of getting extra time with the kids.
It's actually one of the things, I remember my son tucking him in and him saying that it was a good date night.
Shanna Gardner quickly became like the talk of social media and the tabloids, with everyone hinting at how cold she seemed after the shooting. Daily Mail even showed her at a park memorial for Jared on the very same day as the ceremony. But, her kids weren't allowed to go.
His family did not invite me or want me there. Talk about a violation of privacy, because my kids know that they were photographed and they were worried.
The couple got married in 2010, and just a year later, they had twins. By 2015, they had split. On the surface, everything looked calm and civil, but underneath, there was, like, a lot of bitterness. Both were accusing each other of cheating. Jared claimed she was seeing a guy named Brad at the gym. Shanna, on the other hand, said he was just using her money. They lived in an $800,000 house and both drove Mercedes cars. Shanna's parents were helping them out financially. Every month, at least $88,500, letting them use their credit cards, and even gave $100,000 for Jared to start his own business. We spoke with his ex-wife, who, still hasn't publicly commented on anything.
To not talk to the media or give a public statement, but with the level of speculation, I felt that now it was necessary to speak out.
It was like the past had been, completely forgotten. On camera, Shanna only ever spoke well about the father of her 4 kids.
I'm sure you would say that we've had happy moments. I mean, we share the 2 most beautiful children in the world. But
the divorce was like a long, drawn-out mess. When a reporter asked her about the 5-year-long marriage and divorce process, Shanna replied,
anytime divorce comes into any situation, it's messy. It just is. I will say that I think that we both love our kids.
But the court documents told a completely different story. Shanna and Jared's divorce was insanely toxic and dragged on forever, full of accusations and counter-accusations. At first, Shanna demanded the house and primary custody of the kids, claiming Jared had threatened to take money out of their children's trust funds. Jared denied it. Jared, on the other hand, was pushing for primary custody, child support, spousal support, and the house. He also accused Shanna of spying on him, using baby monitors and a tracker, promising to take serious legal action against her. Things got more and more heated. Shanna locked the master bedroom and supposedly installed a recorder in the house, while Jared accused her of lying about her income, saying she claimed to work under the table for her mum. Even though they reached a joint custody agreement in 2015, the legal battles went on for another 6 years, with filings getting more and more aggressive.
It's messy. It just is. I will say that I think that we both love our kids.
By 2019, Shanna accused Jared of pressuring the kids and teaching them to make statements against her, calling it psychological abuse. She kept filing motions all the way up to 2021. It was like an endless battle. And this Wednesday, Jared lost the final fight just minutes after leaving Shanna's house.
I fell to the floor because I was devastated for what I was going to have to tell my kids.
On her blog, Shanna's mum wrote that her daughter wasn't invited to Jared's funeral. When asked about it, Shanna said that Jared's family didn't want to see her. But, like, the day before the memorial ceremony organised by Jared's widow, Shanna was photographed at the park with her kids. Her absence at the funeral and the official memorial only fueled rumours about her possible involvement in Jared's death. A reporter asked the question everyone was wondering.
Did you have anything to do with Jared's murder?
No, I did not have anything to do with his murder.
But, like, Shanna didn't answer right away. She just closed her eyes and froze for a moment. When the reporter asked the next question, she closed her eyes again.
Do you have any idea who might have done this?
I do not have any idea. As I said, we've been divorced. We don't run in the same social circles. All I know is that I would never want anybody to go through this.
Even when they asked her if she knew anyone who could have done it, Shanna just focused on herself, trying to clear her own name. Then the reporter asked her to send a message to Jared if she could say one last thing to him.
Honestly, that I wish it weren't like this. I wish things could have been and could be different.
And again, she spoke vaguely, never really clarifying what could have been different. The interview didn't do anything to ease suspicions. Karen, Jared's wife, had a bad feeling that night. She had talked to him just minutes before the shooting. When he hung up, she tried calling back. Then she got in the car and went out to find him. That's when an officer called her and told her Jared was gone. At that point, all they had was the car the suspect had used to flee. Here's the camera footage. Possible vehicle of the attacker. Dark Ford F-150. Model around 2004 to 2008. Blue pickup, Ford F-150. Little Bexley, 2 years old and in the car at the time, said her dad opened the car door, she heard a loud bang, and then he got sick and fell to the ground. It wasn't just an attack, the person who did this could also be charged with child abuse. 2 of the 4 bullets hit Jared. The other 2 hit the car. Bexley survived by a miracle. Meanwhile, the police kept the investigation tightly under wraps. After the divorce, Jared had started a new life, working as an executive at Microsoft, marrying a colleague named Karen, and settling in Street Augustin, Florida. They welcomed their daughter Bexley, and 2 years later, baby London.
Thanks. I love my dad because he's the best.
Jared Bridegan absolutely adored his kids' 9-year-old twins, Liam and Abby, 2-year-old Bexley, and 7-month-old London.
He's my best friend,
In 2018, Shanna got married again. She met Mario Fernandez, a maintenance worker at her gym, and they lived together in Jacksonville Beach. She married him in less than 2 months. While Jared and Karen were just living their lives without any issues, Shanna often complained about Jared, since he and Mario didn't get along. In July 2022, the police investigating Jared Bridegan's shooting visited a rental house on Pomac Avenue in Jacksonville. There, they noticed a spare tire leaning against the wall of the house. The tenant said he had found it on the roadside and let the police take it. According to the current tenant, Henry Tenon had lived on Pomac Avenue until February of last year, the same month the murder happened. Property records show that the house belongs to Jared's ex-wife's new husband. The current resident claims he hasn't seen Tenon since August of last year. When a detective was loading the tire into a car, the resident Henry Tenon came onto the yard and briefly spoke to the officer about something else. Further tests confirmed that the tire matched the one found at the crime scene. This, again, led police back to the house on Pomac Avenue. The tenant also said that he had picked up a blue Ford pickup from Georgia after his father passed away, who had been in jail after a police stop. The current tenant didn't want to appear on camera, but said police had been to his house 3 times since August. This key lead, along with data tracking the pickup's movements around Jacksonville, shifted the investigation straight to Henry Tenon. On August 18th, 2022, police finally made an arrest. 61-year-old Henry Tenon was pulled over for a traffic violation. It all started with, a regular speeding stop in West Jacksonville. It was August 2022, and he had no idea everything had been planned.
It starts with a simple traffic stop for speeding on Jacksonville's west side. It's August 2022.
Still want the whole habitual traffic offender ruse? You still want me to tell him that?
During the stop, police found a rifle in the trunk of his car. Since he had a prior conviction, he wasn't legally allowed to own a gun. He was also charged with a 3rd offense driving with a revoked license, along with illegal possession of a firearm. He could have been taken straight to jail, but the detectives had something else planned. Instead of sending him to prison immediately, they brought him to an interrogation room. Bodycam footage even caught a phone conversation with an officer confirming the plan was to tell Tenon he was only being detained for the traffic violation, the revoked license, and the firearm. Henry thought he was just getting booked until the detective explained the real reason he'd been brought in. They transported him to the Firearms Criminal Analysis Center, which JSO uses in collaboration with the prosecutor's office and the ATF.
Pat you down real quick.
Here, a CJIC detective and a Jacksonville Beach investigator tell Tenon the real reason they want to talk to him.
His car was caught on surveillance cameras on Sanctuary Boulevard. The connection was clear. Henry owned the same pickup that was seen on video leaving the crime scene. Officers showed him photos of his truck, which were blocked out on the interrogation video. Tenon claimed a friend had borrowed his truck that night. He also said he didn't know of anything that could incriminate him, all while gesturing toward a photo of Mario Fernandez and some evidence the detective had shown covered with a black box, but, like, that was the incriminating evidence. Most of the audio was muted, but the interrogating officers were trying to make him understand that they knew he was involved. Henry Tenon stayed in the interrogation room for 5 hours.
Somehow Henry got caught up in something, and now it's spiraling out of control because these other people involved, because this is your vehicle involved that you're in, are going to point the finger at you, and they've already started to do that because no one wants to go to prison for the rest of their life.
It might seem like totally random and disconnected. Why would a man just shoot a father? Why roll a tire out onto the road to stop him, then take his life? But the officers knew a few things about Henry. He had rented a room on Mario Fernandez's property in the 5200 block of Atomic Avenue. Cell phone records confirmed Henry was in Jacksonville Beach the night of the shooting. Tenon had rented a room in a house owned by Fernandez, which was captured on police body cam footage that morning. The police arrested Tenon for a traffic violation, but the officers knew someone had hired him to get rid of Jared. Henry's vehicle appeared on surveillance cameras, with over 10 hours of footage in total. They even saw his truck scouting the roads before the shooting and after fleeing the crime scene. As for the connection, besides owning the pickup seen at the crime scene and on cameras, Henry's friend told investigators that Tenon asked him to leave the truck there because it wasn't working. The friend, who supposedly borrowed the truck, explained that Henry said it needed repairs, so he needed a place to park it. Video footage showing his links to Mario Fernandez helped explain what happened. Investigators hoped Henry would help them crack the case.
Yes.
There ain't nothing else I can do you. I don't think I need an attorney.
He called a woman he didn't know, saying something that basically, gave him away as guilty.
It ain't looking good. Just put it like that.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, I'm probably going to be here for a while.
I wish you was calling with some good news, like you're getting released or something.
Don't look that way anyway, so far.
Well, hopefully they'll realize that it's not you.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Shanna Gardner hired a lawyer. She brought in a well-known criminal defense attorney from Jacksonville, Hank Cox, to protect her family from media scrutiny and rumors about her involvement in Jared Bridegan's murder. She also hired a PR firm to handle crisis management and get ahead of any gossip. Interestingly, the first person she contacted as social media manager told police that Shanna had claimed her tenant was arrested and that his car was involved in the shooting of her ex. This sparked an urgent need to get ahead of a media storm. At that point, though, police had only said that Henry had been arrested for a traffic violation. In 2023, almost a year after Jared's death, Shanna pulled the twins out of their private schools and moved to Washington. This move seemed sudden, considering her earlier statements. She had previously said she had no plans to leave Jacksonville, despite the constant chatter about the case in her neighborhood. Records show that in September 2022, less than a month after Henry Tenon's arrest, Shanna's parents bought her $1 million house through a shell company, LLC. Strangely, her husband, Mario Fernandez, didn't accompany her. Was she running? In October of the following year, police noticed 3 checks from First Choice Home Rentals LLC, totaling $110,000, dated April 4th, 18 days after the shooting on Sanctuary Boulevard. The company was owned by Mario Fernandez. It's safe to say there was enough evidence for Henry to confess. In January 2023, he struck a deal with prosecutors. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison in exchange for naming the people involved in the conspiracy against Jared, the ones who paid him to commit the murder. With Tenon's help, police were able to arrest Mario Fernandez the following month. Mario Fernandez was taken into custody in Central Florida on March 16, 2023.
Alright, hang on. Good. Come on. Well, you're the one to ask stuff, right? This is a cool. You're the one in charge. Well, the only keys that need to go to there is the vehicle keys, but
the other keys are yours?
The other keys are mine, correct.
Mario was super calm during the arrest, and didn't seem worried at all about being accused of hiring Henry. In fact, he didn't even deny his involvement in Jared's tragedy. His behavior was, like, surprisingly casual.
What does that mean?
He's a low rent situation.
Yes.
Mario acted completely at ease around the officers.
So you're going in the back of my car. I'm going to search you real quick.
Sure.
Just go and widen your stance for me. You got anything on you?
Fine.
Got anything on you?
No.
No?
Nope.
Really? You're always there, right? That works. Hey, first time in 10 years. You know, and you guys finally quit your...
Sir, one more question. Can I get in contact with my brother about my dogs?
Where are your dogs?
I have 3 dogs. They're at a townhouse, but I just need my brother to be able to take care of them.
Okay, we'll take care of that. You're not going to jail. We'll put you on the other side.
Mario only seemed concerned about the dogs. After everything that had happened, he had just one request, and it wasn't even for a lawyer. He asked for his belongings, and honestly, there was a good reason for that.
I've got your keys in your wallet and everything.
Keys, wallet, phone.
They stole your phone.
His phone was packed with evidence against him. Mario had been texting Henry back and forth. When the kids were asked if they'd seen Mario the night their dad was killed, they first said he was in the playroom, then said they hadn't seen him, just assumed. Shanna said Mario was asleep. Mario himself claimed he'd taken some medicine and passed out on the couch. So why didn't the kids see him? Henry Tenon had the answer. Mario Fernandez drove Henry to take Jared's life. Henry admitted he was a hired killer. He said Mario approached him multiple times with plans, offering $150,000 to fund a pallet business. Eventually, Henry agreed. Mario provided the weapon and mapped out the plan. The original idea was to kidnap Jared and kill him somewhere else, but the plan was later sped up by February 2022. Financial records linked Shanna Gardner to the company accounts. Shanna and Mario were listed as managers of First Choice Home Rentals LLC, which received $5,000 a month from Shanna's trust fund. Starting in March 2021, by April 2022, Mario wrote Henry a check for $5,000 marked Kickstarter Good Luck, the first of several payments connected to the murder. Shanna was finally arrested on August 17th that same year. Police went to her house in Washington state. Interestingly, Shanna was no longer using Mario's last name. She wasn't living with him or communicating with him, seemingly trying to completely cut ties. Shelley and Sterling Gardner were wealthy founders of Stampin' Up, a company worth $75 million. They were well-known and respected members of society. But that day, Shelley sat in tears, worried about Shanna. Shanna, on the other hand, looked strangely detached. She was calm and polite, maybe even in shock.
You want me to go get her the shoes?
I'll get her shoes.
Shanna leaned down to her daughter, speaking softly but in a businesslike tone, when suddenly she snapped.
Abby? I say, you have orders on the Instagram that I was managing for you. You have orders to just have Grandma help you get into.
10-year-old Abby had to send her own mother to prison and make sure she got there safely. Her twin brother, Liam, helped her. It was heartbreaking to realize they had lost their dad and now had to face the reality that their only other parent was, well, involved in all of this.
It was on the box. The address,
They let her take prescription medications with generally don't. Why is that?
Yeah, they'll let her take what she has, and then they'll order more if they have to, yeah.
Do you want to get all my medications in the bathroom on the counter and in the drawer and the door?
The officers had to collect all of her essential items, including any medications. They went through her house and personal belongings. Finally, they escorted her out to be transported.
It's gonna be the white vehicle back there.
Shanna remained polite and calm throughout the entire arrest. Her thank yous came out quiet and subdued. Shanna's face twisted as they led her into the holding room. Maybe this was the moment it finally started to sink in. But what annoyed her more was the high-pitched beep in the room than the fact that she was actually under arrest.
We're gonna bring you inside real quick. Get you out of the warm car, right? Now step out for me. We're gonna go through these doors over here. And then there's gonna be a hallway to your left there. Have you take a left there for me.
Shanna was completely cooperative, not resisting at all. But there was a reason for that. It was all just a facade.
And I'll have you take a seat over here. And what I'll do, actually, if you want to face the wall for me.
The officer was polite and friendly. He had no idea what game Shanna Gardner was playing. She seemed like a loving, caring mom, safe and innocent, while Mario came across as the angry, bitter guy who supposedly wanted to take Jared out of the twins' lives. Finally, the officer read her rights.
Or turn the other way. I'll have you take a seat. Turn the other way for me. All right. And then if you want to take a seat for me. No, you're okay.
The Gardner family, this was no big deal. Her parents already had an attorney, Jose Baez, on retainer. Baez was famous for defending clients in high-profile murder cases, including Casey Anthony and Aaron Fernandez. Since he handled such headline-grabbing cases, it made you wonder, did Shanna's parents know something about what she had actually done?
I'll get you down there. It's hot. So hot my vehicle can't keep up.
I say it's hotter for you guys wearing all the stuff you guys have to do.
And I'll get you down there so you're out of cuffs. I know those are uncomfortable, so just sit tight for me, all right?
Shanna was confident she could talk her way out of the situation. She even felt comfortable enough to joke with the officer, but he completely ignored her comment. During the search of her house, the detectives found quite a lot of interesting stuff.
Officers went to Washington to serve a search warrant. One of her children asked if we were looking for Mommy's burner phone.
Detectives discovered text messages dating back to 2015 between Shanna and a woman named Kim. Kim was a friend Shanna had met after moving to Jacksonville. They attended the same church with Jared. In these messages, they discussed Jared and mentioned someone named Matt, whose identity remained unknown. The texts suggested hostility and even potential threats toward Jared. Shanna also told her friend that Jared was a gold digger living off her. The conversation continued with Kim joking about her famous funeral potatoes, and Shanna asked for the recipe. Their exchanges were full of dark humor and sarcasm. Shanna wrote that if being a bad person were a crime, Jared would get the death penalty, and Kim jokingly said she would carry out the sentence herself. While some comments seemed like jokes, others were disturbingly realistic, hinting at possible serious intent, raising questions about the nature of their relationship and the threats toward Jared. Investigators had reason to believe Shanna might have been plotting against Jared years earlier. In May 2015, she and Kim discussed funeral potatoes, or sending Jared away, suggesting he might end up in jail, die, or be set up. Kim even referred to a road trip, after which Jared would disappear, and they discussed how they would celebrate if he died, again referencing the funeral potatoes. Messages continued into 2016, mentioning plans to increase Jared's stress and cholesterol. They also referenced someone called M, who could perform magic for her to make Jared disappear. Additionally, a man named Brad said he had a strange conversation with Shanna. One evening, after drinking, she asked if he knew anyone who could make Jared permanently quiet. Brad interpreted this as her, implying she wanted Jared eliminated. Shanna remained confident that her lawyer, Jose Baez, could get her out of any consequences.
A short hearing as Gardner appears before a judge at the Benton County Jail.
We've got a governor's warrant from both Florida and Washington.
Demeanor was oddly calm, her voice clear and polite.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any questions?
I do not, Your Honor. Thank you.
She had no idea that investigators were already behind the scenes and would soon uncover the truth. Shanna Gardner actively manipulated those around her. According to Kim, Shanna had previously met with Henry and knew that the truck, which the media identified as potentially linked to the crime, belonged to him. Yet she remained silent. After a family trip to Hawaii, Mario allegedly told Henry that it needed to be done immediately, claiming that the outcome would determine the fate of his marriage.
For the first time in the state of Florida, Shanna Gardner was seen in shackles.
The state of Florida intends to seek the death penalty for the first-degree murder charged in the indictment.
Continued to smile confidently every time she was faced with such a horrifying prospect.
To be charged with something so horrific where the government is trying to, for all intents and purposes, kill you, it would rattle anyone.
Shanna pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder with a firearm, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, solicitation of a felony, and child abuse. 2-year-old Bexley was in the SUV when 2 bullets struck it, but miraculously survived unharmed. Was it obsession, revenge, or the culmination of a bitter custody battle? 4 children lost their father. A once happy family is now fractured. The twins currently live with Shanna's parents, while Jared's family, including his other children, has no access to them, as the Gardners have chosen not to allow contact. Henry Tenon is serving a 15-year prison sentence, while Mario Fernandez and Shanna await trial. Both have pleaded not guilty, but given the overwhelming evidence against them, their chances appear slim, and they could face the death penalty. However, Shanna is backed by Jose Baez, a powerful weapon against even the toughest prosecutors. What do you think? Is Shanna Gardner guilty? Will she face the death penalty, or get off lightly? Let me know in the comments below. Well friends, that's all for today. Honestly, I just really appreciate you being here on YouTube. Meanwhile, take care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe, stay curious. Thank you, and goodbye.